Hey everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. We have a really exciting webinar for folks who are interested in learning more about our new Jira Software and Confluence-Cloud Premium offerings. We've introduced a whole host of new features for Premium recently, from advanced roadmaps in Jira Software to analytics for Confluence, and the goal of this session today is to make sure you come away with an understanding of what's available to you in our Premium offerings. So some quick introductions before we start. I'm Josh Frank, a product marketer on Jira Software, and I'm joined by Hillary Dubin, a lead product manager on Confluence Cloud Premium and Free, and I'm also joined here by Pete Morris, who's a lead product manager on the new Advanced Roadmaps experience. Just a bit of housekeeping before we get going. We're going to be talking about a couple forward-looking things in this webinar, which is subject to change over time. So what's on the agenda today? So first, Hillary is going to talk about Confluence Cloud Premium, running through a demo of some of the features in there. Next, I'm going to hand off to Pete, who's going to he's going to do a pretty in-depth walkthrough of the advanced roadmaps experience in Jira Software Premium. After that, I'm going to demo some of the other features available in Jira Software Premium, and I'll talk through a couple of our platform features in Premium. And when I say platform features, that means these are features that are available in Jira Software, Confluence, Jira Service Desk. They span across our entire Atlassian cloud platform in our Premium editions. And then after that, we're going to open it up to live Q&A. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to Hillary.
Thank you, Josh. Again, I'm Hillary, and I am the product manager on Confluence Cloud Premium. I'm super excited to demo our most popular Confluence Premium features today. And just a reminder that Confluence Cloud Premium comes with everything you already love about Standard, as well as some additional superpowers to help admins and end users scale. We have a lot to get through, so without further ado, let's start by taking a look at the premium features customers are already loving today through the eyes of customers just like you. We brought analytics to Premium for admins like Alana here. She needs visibility into the usage of her Confluence site, spaces, and pages so that she can assess the effectiveness of Confluence and properly disseminate information across her organization. With Premium Site Analytics, Alana can see a summary of usage over time. She can change the date range or group by different time increments, and she gets a list of all spaces on her site, which she can sort by usage. This comes in handy if she wants to see which teams are shining examples of Confluence best practices or which spaces are stale and need to be archived. She also gets a view of search terms and users. She can then go into Space Analytics and see a similar overview of the space usage. Here she gets a list of pages which she can use to see what types of content are popular and could be made into templates, for example, and which pages are stale and ready for archiving. Again, she gets a list of active users on this space, which can give her an idea of which employees are Confluence champions who may be able to help train their team and bring on new employees. Each page also comes with analytics, and you get a snapshot here of all of the page usage from views to users to comments. But my personal favorite part is the feature in the detailed view, where Alana can then see who's viewed her page and what version they saw. This feature really helps when you need to circulate information before a meeting. So Alana could understand here who has seen the most recent version of her page, and if they haven't seen it, she can then send out that information again to make sure everyone's seen it before her meeting, and it'll be an effective use of everyone's time. Now let's move on to our suite of premium permissions tools, and there's 3 here that we'll go over, starting with Admin Key. We've built Admin Key for customers just like Will here, who is a site admin, and he wastes time on a daily basis troubleshooting permissions for his employees. With Admin Key, Will can gain temporary access to restricted pages like this one, and he can go in and assess permissions problems and unblock his employees in a fraction of the time before Admin Key. So now that he has Admin Key, he can see restricted pages in the page tree, and he can pinpoint issues in the page hierarchy to easily grant access to entire groups of pages. Admin Key is really great when someone leaves the company before unlocking their pages, or when users accidentally lock down content and aren't sure how to fix it. Inspect permissions goes hand in hand with Admin Key. So whether you're a site admin like Will or a content creator like Emma here, it's important to understand exactly who has access to your pages and why. Because her Confluence site has grown like crazy over the years, Page permissions have gotten complex, and Emma often runs into issues where she needs to grant her teammates access to her pages, but she's not sure why they can't see them. Emma can use inspect permissions to understand the active permissions for any user at a glance. She simply types in the name of a user and gets a summary of whether or not the user has permissions on that page and exactly why or why not. She can go in and see the page directly or contact the page author. And this feature is really great for Emma, but also for our site admin Will, because inspect permissions allows Emma to solve many of her own problems without having to come to Will for help. If we go back to Alana here, she loves to copy permissions from other spaces because she sets up a new space every time her team starts a new client project, and it's tedious for her to manually duplicate permission schemes each time she needs to create a new project space. With copy space permissions, Alana can easily copy permission schemes from previous spaces so she knows the group setup will be correct without the hassle of having to set it up manually. So she can go in the same way, create a new space, and copy permissions from existing spaces where she already has access. She can also copy space permissions directly from an existing space if she goes into settings and goes to the permissions tab. So this works on brand new spaces or existing spaces. Now that you've gotten a taste of what customers already love about Premium, we also have some fantastic new features in the works. So we'll start with a high-level overview here and then go into some more demos. So in the very near term, we're adding bulk archiving to all Confluence-Cloud Premium sites. Then coming early next year, we are extremely excited to announce the launch of external collaboration to help you work with external clients and vendors. And lastly, you may already know about automation in Jira, which Peter and Josh are going to demo after this. And we are proud to announce that we'll be bringing automation to Confluence in mid-2021, powered by the same engine and all the goodness you get in automation for Jira. Let's take a look at these. For space admins like Alana, who need to keep their page tree neat and updated, it can be really tedious to go through and groom pages one by one. With the new bulk archive feature, Alana can view the whole page tree in a focus mode and select multiple pages to archive at once. When the pages are archived, they retain their hierarchy so everything stays organized, even in the archive. Bulk archiving is great for reassuring people in your org that content in Confluence is up to date and trustworthy. It keeps your page tree neat and presentable for clients. It makes it easier for people to find what they need when there's less clutter to dig through, and it improves page tree load times when you take out pages that are outdated from your page tree. You can also restore pages in bulk here directly from the archive and send them to their most recent parent or set a new parent. For IT admins like Will, who previously had security concerns about adding external users, we are building a totally secure user role to ease the process of working with external clients and vendors. External collaboration will include, not exclude, a brand new user role specifically designed with clients and contractors in mind. These users will have no default access and they'll only be able to see content in spaces where they're explicitly added. They'll also have no access to user information outside of the employees they work with. We're blocking the people directory, user search, and other user pickers to ensure that external collaborators never see sensitive user information. To make sure everyone is informed and professional around your external clients, we've also added UI markers and notifications to make sure that internal employees know if an external collaborator is added to their spaces or their pages. And last, but certainly not least, we are bringing automation to Confluence for space admins like Alana who are still wasting time on tedious and repetitive tasks. Automation for Confluence, in short, is going to be flexible if this then that rules, which unlock thousands of options for automation on your Confluence site. And if you're already familiar with automation in Jira, it's going to be powered by the same engine. Automation is a really critical premium feature for both Confluence and Jira. It saves both admins and end users time on tedious tasks. It helps everyone to work smarter, and it allows your team to stay ahead of manual housekeeping work to make sure nothing slips through the cracks. Automation in both Confluence and Jira works with a simple if this, then that format. First, you set a trigger like task completed. Then you set a condition like by my space admin in the important client project space. And finally, you set an action like transition Jira issue on my client project dashboard. So if a task is completed by a space admin in a certain space, then you transition your Jira issue. In Confluence, the top automation use cases are workflow approvals to facilitate progress and approvals throughout the content lifecycle, content management to keep your space tidy and organized, integrating with Jira automation to keep Confluence in sync with Jira and other tools, and reminders. Let's walk through a couple of these now to give you an idea of how you might use automation in Confluence. Here you can see a rule that might help you integrate with Jira. When a Jira project is created, then you might want to create a new project poster page in Confluence, which links to your Jira board. Automation with Confluence will allow you to easily set up workflow approvals. So with new metadata around the page status, you can set up rules to transition pages through a workflow when the page status changes, and then notify relevant teammates. We're also working on direct buttons and UI on the pages to allow users to trigger workflow automation directly from the page. And finally, here's an example of how you might keep your spaces squeaky clean by setting up rules to auto-archive outdated content, maybe after a certain number of days. So now that you've seen a few examples of how you could use automation for Confluence, we'll turn the question back to you. How might your organization use our flexible automation rules? And feel free to send your ideas as questions on the webinar. So you've seen all the goodness that's in Confluence-Cloud Premium, and now I will hand off to Peter and Josh to demo the great features that we've added on the Jira side to Jira Software-Premium.
Thanks, Hilary. My name is Pete Morris and I'm a product manager on the Advanced Roadmaps team. I'd like to give you all a quick overview of Advanced Roadmaps today, as well as some tips on how to get started. I want to start with a little about who Advanced Roadmaps is for. Advanced Roadmaps is built for growing agile organizations that need visibility, shared focus, and accurate delivery across multiple teams. We've heard from a lot of customers that as their organizations scale, coordinating across the self-empowered autonomous teams that Agile encourages actually grows a lot more difficult. These sorts of companies need to be able to easily plan across multiple teams and then communicate those plans visually to stakeholders. They need to align their team's work up to high-level initiatives for better visibility into how work maps to strategy, and then they need to communicate the bigger picture to their development teams. They also need to better understand just how much their teams can deliver and whether there are any dependency risks before they become issues. Advanced Roadmaps is designed to help you overcome these challenges while still embracing core Agile concepts. I'll give you a little bit of a demo to show you how. Let's start with the basics of how you can plan across multiple teams and communicate those plans to stakeholders. This is the main Roadmap tab. There are two sections to this screen. First, on the left-hand side, we have the Scope section. This is where you can see all of the issues that are part of the plan and any of the fields that you believe are relevant to planning. On the right-hand side, we have the Timeline view. This is where you can see when these issues will actually be delivered. Each plan connects to one or more issue sources. Here you can see from the issue keys that I've brought in issues from multiple projects. Advanced Roadmaps also introduces a team field so that you can assign issues directly to a team in order to better understand their workload as well as some other benefits that we'll discuss a little bit later. Advanced Roadmaps has many different view options to help you visualize your plans. Here I'll group my plan by the team field in order to get a clearer view of the work that my teams are doing. Next, let's talk about the 4 different ways that you can plan an issue in Advanced Roadmaps. The first way is to simply click and drag on the timeline to set the start and the due date of the issue. The next way is to set the start and the due date via the calendar picker, allowing you to be a little bit more accurate. You can also choose to just set one of those dates if you know, for example, when an issue will start, but not when it will end. The next way is to look at the sprint assignment of the issue. Here you can see that the dates from these issues are being inferred from the sprints that they're assigned to. The final way is to use a brand new feature that we've just launched called Roll Updates. This allows us to infer the dates of a parent issue from the min and max dates of all the children that are present in this plan. This is useful if you don't want to keep updating the parent issues every time a child moves around. At any point in time, you can share your plan with stakeholders by clicking on the Share button. Here you can share your plan either via direct read-only link, or you can embed via an iframe. Very soon we will have a Confluence macro coming as well. Next, we're going to talk about hierarchy and how you can use hierarchy to get a better shared focus amongst your teams. Advanced Roadmaps allows you to set hierarchy above the level of epic in any way that suits your organization. Here we've extended the story and epic naming convention up to legend, odyssey, and anthology. I'll turn off the team grouping here just so you can get the full effect. You can now see that we've got issues from multiple projects laddering up here to what we call a legend. You can use these higher level issues to represent cross-cutting programs or strategic initiatives that will allow you to better understand how the work of multiple teams will contribute to these goals. Or you can use them so the teams can see how their work ladders up to the bigger picture. Managing issues within the hierarchy is pretty simple as well, so you can just drag and drop to reparent them, or you could drag and drop them amongst their siblings to re-rank them. If you want to do it a few at a time, then you can just select them and use our in-plan bulk actions. I also want to show you a bit about how you can plan with your team's capacity and dependencies in mind in order to get a more accurate understanding of when work can be delivered. To do that, we first need to group by either team or sprint, and then select Show Capacity on the timeline. Advanced Roadmaps will pull in the sprints from any boards used as issue sources, and you'll be able to immediately see whether your sprints are under, at, or over capacity based on the team's velocity and the sum of the story points assigned to each sprint. I set these teams up as Scrum teams using story points, but you can also set up Kanban teams estimating with hours or days. If I scroll a little bit further down, I can see that my platform team has a sprint that is over capacity, but a later sprint that is under capacity. Here what I can do is move one of the issues from sprint 1 to sprint 3. Well, it looks like I've cleared up my capacity, but now I have a dependency problem. These little nodes at the end of the timeline bar show that there are other issues that are dependent on this one, and when they're red, it means that we've got a bit of a problem. Here we can see that there are 2 dependent issues that are currently planned to start before this one. You can quickly find those issues by filtering by them on the plan. Lucky for us, this is easy enough to fix. We'll just clear this filter here, scroll back down to the platform team's issue, move that back to sprint 1, and move an issue with no dependencies to sprint 3 instead. And now all of my sprints are green. Finally, I want to show you how to quickly get started with Advanced Roadmaps. You can create a brand new plan by going to Plans in the navigation and selecting Create Plan. First thing we need to do is name our plan. Then we need to choose who in our organization can see it. I'm going to leave this one open to everyone. Next, we're going to connect the plan to issue sources. These are where my plan will draw all of its issues and releases from. I'll add 3 boards. By using boards as issue sources, I can get access to all the sprints that are relevant to my teams. I can also add a project here that I use to house all of my higher level initiatives that extend across teams. I'll also be prompted to select my estimation unit. As I mentioned earlier, I'm using story points. Next, I'll be asked to include or exclude any releases that are relevant to my plan from the issue sources I've selected. Here, I'm not actually using releases, so I can just click Next. Next, I'll be asked to set up my teams. Advanced Roadmaps has already set up a team for each one of my issue sources, making them Scrum teams because I selected story points as my estimation method, selecting 2 weeks as my sprint iteration length, and giving them a 30-point story point velocity. I can change any of these details as necessary, or even delete the entire team if it's not necessary. Finally, I'll be asked to confirm what's in scope. If I haven't excluded any releases, then all open issues from my issue sources will be brought into my plan. Here I can choose to explicitly exclude any irrelevant issues before finally creating my plan. And that's it. Your plan is now set up and you're ready to start planning across teams with advanced roadmaps. We have a couple of other features coming soon that I'd like to share with you before I wrap up. We believe one of the most important planning tasks is being able to communicate that plan to different audiences within your business. We'll make it possible to embed an interactive plan directly into a Confluence page so that you can easily share your plan with stakeholders while adding any other supporting information alongside it. We'll also be launching a new way to visualize your dependencies. The dependency map provides a powerful overview of how work is related and where your biggest risks are. You'll be able to roll up the dependencies of child issues to their parent, group by team, and filter to only show the work that you're concerned about. We're pretty excited about this one and hope to have it to you very soon. That's it from me. I'll pass it back over to Josh.
Thanks, Pete. So I'm going to take over from Pete to talk about the rest of what's available in Jira Software Premium. So another key Jira Premium feature is global and multi-project automation. And just to clarify, automation in Jira is available to everybody. It's not just in Premium. Rather, it's the ability to build automation rules across as many Jira projects as you'd like with a single rule that's available in Premium. So even just taking a step back, what is automation in Jira? So just like Confluence, it's an if this, then that automation engine. So if you do something in Jira, then automatically do something else. I'll give a quick demo of what automation looks like in Jira Software. So what I want to accomplish with automation here is I just want to make sure my Jira site stays clean and up to date across all my team projects. One way I'm going to contribute to that is by making sure that anytime an epic gets closed, I'm also going to automatically close all the child stories under that epic. So let's see how it works. So to find automation, I'm going to go under System. And in the left-hand panel, I'm going to go to Automation Rules. So I'm going to create my rule. And so for this, anytime an issue is transitioned, and when it's transitioned to done, the status is done. And for stories or issues in that epic that aren't done, so here I'm specifying that the stories do not equal done. Then I'm going to automate that these issues are automatically closed. So I'm going to give the rule a name. Turn on the automation automatically turns on, and then we're just going to run the automation. So here I'm in the new roadmap for classic projects. I'm just closing one of the epics in my roadmap. And I'm going to refresh. You can see the stories under there. And voila, the stories have automatically also closed just because I've marked the epic as done. All the stories under that epic are also marked as done. So it's really as easy as that. Pretty cool, right? So if I want to do what I did one project at a time, I can do that in Jira Standard. But if I want to set that rule or any rule across multiple projects at once, I need to be in Jira Software Premium. So here you can see these options in the dropdown. You can run rules for a single project, or you can run automation rules for all projects at once, for multiple projects, or you can specify a specific project type. And the latter three options are the options that are more specific to our premium offering. So one other cool thing to call out about automation is you can automate stuff not only based on what's happening in Jira, but also based on stuff happening in systems outside of Jira. So for example, let's say a pull request is denied in Bitbucket. I can automatically update the status of my Jira issue and notify my team in Slack. Or if there's an incident in Ops Genie, I can update Jira and notify my team in Slack. So the sky is really the limit for what you can accomplish with Jira automation, especially if you're integrating with some of the other tools, some of the tools that your team uses every day with Jira. So with that, it makes sense that when we survey Jira automators, you can see how easy it is. Jira automators tell us they're loving it. So 97% of Jira automators say it helps them save time, 94% say it makes their life easier, and 87% said it helps them scale Jira. So whether you just need the standard version of automation, where automations will run on a single project, or if you need the premium version to help you really scale the way that you automate and save time for people in your organization, whether you need one or the other, I would just strongly encourage everybody to consider getting started with automation. So the next Jira Software Premium feature I'm going to talk about is project archiving. So we'll just take a look at how project archiving works. So I'll click the cog, go into projects. Here I've got a list of all the projects that I have, and I'm going to click to archive one of them. Just as easy as that to actually archive it, and then your project gets moved, the project and all its underlying issues get moved into the archives. And if I want, I can restore any project. So pretty easy if I want to just move it out of the archives and back into just my list of projects. So this is great for if you got issues in your project that are no longer active, helps you reduce clutter in your instances, and just good to ensure that any project or issue your colleagues are accessing is always just 100% up to date. So project archiving. So next we're going to talk about some of the premium platform features. And again, what I mean by a platform in this case is that these are features that work across, as long as you have premium, whether it's on Jira Software, Confluence, Jira Service Desk, then you get access to these features. So these are features that live in the Atlassian Cloud platform on our premium editions. So the first feature I want to talk about is Admin Insights, which are special dashboards for administrators that show you how many active users you have in any Jira instance. So in order to find this feature, you'll need to drill into the admin panel. You'll go to your organization, then click into Security, and scroll down to Insights. So here you'll find dashboards that show you how many active users you have trending over time, and you can filter for different time periods. So here I can see, there's a test insight. I don't have a ton of active users here. And this shows you of people who have access to your site, people who can potentially use your Jira site. It shows you how many of them are actually actively using that Jira site. So in this case, I only have 11 of the 58 people who have access to the site are actively using it. And so I may want to think about reassigning some licenses. This is also really helpful for just showing you how your instance is growing over time. So if you're growing really fast and you may need to refill on or up the level of licenses you have, can give you a good read on that. So the next feature I want to talk about is IP allow listing. IP allow listing lets you make it so only users from certain IPs can access your site. So let's see how that works. So again, it's in a really similar part of the product as Admin Insights. So I'm going to click to create an allow list here. Super simple. I'm only going to apply it to Jira, but you can apply it to both. Any site you have a premium license for. I'm going to put just a sample IP address in there. Then I'm going to turn on the allow list. And I'm just going to show you what it looks like to try and access my site when I'm no longer from a specified IP. So can't access the site. Pretty simple, right? And you can toggle the allow lists on and off just like that. So another feature coming soon is our sandbox environment, which is going to allow admins to test and control the rollout of new things before putting them into production on your instance. So things that you can test the rollout of is you can test the rollout of things like automation rules, new apps, or new features. So this can be really great for just testing to make sure stuff works before rolling it out, and just to enable admins to train end users on specific changes that are coming out before they go into production. So this is coming out right around the corner in our premium offering, so stay tuned for that. Another feature coming out really soon into our premium offering is something we're calling release tracks. It's going to be a new feature that enables administrators to have more control over the experience of their end users by delaying the rollout of new cloud features for a limited amount of time. So, obviously in cloud software, you have updates actually coming out all the time, but for admins that want to bundle those updates to come out all at once at a specific time period, so they have the opportunity to potentially train their end users on new features before they come out, you'll be able to do that. So really valuable, again, for just gaining more control over the experience of your end users in Atlassian cloud products. So something else worth calling out is Premium is backed by the solid foundation of what we call the 3S. It comes with a 99.9% availability SLA, unlimited storage, and premium support, which includes 24/7 support and 1-hour response times for critical issues. And one thing to call out is that a lot of customers who are interested in Premium are also interested in Atlassian Access. With Atlassian Access, you can configure enhanced security policies across all your Atlassian cloud products. Atlassian Access includes things like SAML, single sign-on, two-factor authentication, mandated password policies. And with Atlassian Access, you can set some of these features across all of your Atlassian cloud products. Okay, and a couple takeaways before we close. With Confluence Cloud Premium, you get better visibility and insights with features like analytics, and you have stronger admin controls in Confluence. With Jira-Software-Cloud Premium, you really get improved ability to collaborate across multiple teams with features like advanced roadmaps, the cross-project automation capabilities. And all of our premium products come with lots of really valuable premium platform features, which in general can just help your organizations set yourselves up to scale better on Atlassian cloud products. So with that said, I'm going to open it up to Q&A.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Tons of really good questions coming up here. So let me pull up a couple of them. So one of the questions that we have is, what premium features are available to end users in both Confluence and Jira Software? So to start that off, Hillary, do you want to maybe start that off talking about what features are available to end users in Confluence?
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Josh. So we actually have a few Confluence Premium features that can be used by end users. The most popular would be Confluence Page Analytics, and we also got some questions around who can see Page Analytics. So this is something that is really great for end users because you can check who's seen your content, make sure they've seen the right version, and then send it out again if you need to ensure your teammates have seen it. So Page Analytics is a great one for everyone on your team, and you can also open up the space inside Analytics to any users you want if you felt that was a necessary thing for them to see. End users on Confluence can also use inspect permissions so that they can troubleshoot permissions on their own pages before having to send it over to an admin. So you could inspect permissions for any user on your page, and make sure you know exactly why they have access to that page. And then we are allowing space admins to do things like archive and copy space permissions. So oftentimes there are more space admins on a site than there are product admins or org admins. So these are kind of like end users where if you're the admin of a space, you could also do bulk archiving and copying permissions from another space. I'll hand it off to Pete for some of the end user features in Jira.
Sure. So thanks, Hillary. So look, Advanced Roadmaps is the main feature in Jira Software Cloud Premium that is targeted at end users. It obviously helps anybody responsible for cross-team or long-term planning, like program managers and development managers, and you saw that in the demo just earlier. But we also think it benefits members of teams who may not even directly access the planning interface. These users will get to see how their work ladders up to higher-level initiatives, such as anything above the level of Epic. But they're also more likely to see how their issues are dependent upon other issues, so they can help get their work done and get unblocked faster. And they're also more likely to have the capacity of their sprints more accurately planned. So we believe that all Jira software users benefit from work being planned in advanced roadmaps.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. And one thing I'll even add on top of that is, a lot of these other features that are in there, even though they are used by admins, things like project archiving, sandbox, release tracks, they can really benefit that end user experience as well. Okay, so I'll move on to some of the other questions that we have here. So one question is, do only admins have the ability to view Confluence page analytics, or can that permission be given to non-admins? Hillary?
Yeah, so I just touched on this in the end user features question, but admins can grant any users the permission to see page analytics, space analytics, site analytics. So it's up to you as an admin if you want to open that up to the employees at your company, and then any end user could see it on their pages.
And Pete, one question that came in on advanced roadmaps is, can you track capacity of users on the roadmap to ensure engineers aren't double booked on projects?
So the capacity management features as part of advanced roadmaps are targeted mainly at the team level. So you can see the number of story points or the amount of hours that are assigned to a particular team in a particular iteration. So it doesn't necessarily show you the work that the number of story points or hours that are assigned to an individual. We believe that Agile works better when you focus on the unit as a team, a cross-functional team. That said, you can see the work that is assigned to the individuals by exposing the assignee in the timeline, and that will let you see the number of issues that are assigned to those individuals, which can still help you answer that question.
Cool. Hillary, great one about Confluence here. Is it true that archiving is only available in Premium?
That is not true, Josh. I feel like I'm on Mythbusters. That one's busted. You actually can archive pages on Standard. What's in Premium is bulk archiving. And so Premium is specifically tailored towards larger sites that need to manage their content at scale. So bulk archiving, where you can select lots of pages at once, is in Premium only. But single page archiving is available in Standard for all of our Confluence customers.
Awesome. Thanks for clarifying that. And actually, one clarity just for Jira, in case anyone's confused. Well, bulk archiving is a premium feature for Confluence. For Jira, just the ability to archive projects is a premium feature. The little bit of a difference between Confluence and Jira. Okay, Pete, a good question for you here is, for roadmaps, can you bring in multiple projects into the same roadmap? Is this a standard feature, premium, or both?
Great question, Josh. So we have the roadmaps feature available as part of our standard edition, which is across classic and next gen projects, and then advanced roadmaps as part of our Jira Software Cloud Premium edition for classic projects. So the roadmaps in standard will support a roadmap for a single project. It's designed for a single team, and we believe all that work will belong in a single project. Whereas advanced roadmaps can bring in, a plan can have multiple sources. So it can be multiple projects, multiple boards, or even multiple JQL filters, saved filters. So if you're looking for visibility across projects, advanced roadmaps is the way to go as part of Jira Software-Cloud Premium.
Thanks. Okay, another one, Hillary, Confluence page workflows and approvals. Do you require any plugins for that, or is that native Confluence functionality?
That's a really good one. Thanks, Josh. So we are putting page workflows and approvals natively in Confluence Premium for basic workflows and approvals. So when we add automation to Premium, one of the main use cases that we're going to build around is page workflows and approvals. But if you wanted more advanced functionality, things like e-signatures or really custom and complex workflows, we do recommend plugins like Kamala for that additional, more advanced workflow functionality.
Cool. Hillary, another good one for you, I think, is just, well, maybe you can start us off on this one and I can answer the second half of it, is how do I know which plan is right for me? So how do I know if I'm a good fit for standard or better fit for premium?
Yeah, that's a great one, Josh. So I already touched on this a little bit, but Premium really is built for our most advanced and growing larger teams. So if you're trying to decide if Premium is right for you, you might want to think about how many users are currently on your site and how many you're planning to add in the future. Do you need advanced security features, unlimited storage, and different things like unlimited support to support your growing team? And are you looking for other advanced use cases like roadmaps or like external collaboration that maybe most customers in standard don't need, but your team is advanced in that way and looking for some additional functionality? And maybe anything else on the Jira side you want to add?
Yeah, I think just on Jira Software Premium, it's really for customers when you're starting to bump up against issues of scale. So are you looking to help teams collaborate across teams? Are you looking to manage automation rules across teams? Are you starting to manage, your instance at scale? So you want to have a little bit tighter admin controls and test the rollout of new features with Sandbox. So, bumping up against those issues of scale can really happen for organizations of all size, but it's those types of things that will be a good signal to think about whether you're the right fit for Jira Software Premium. So a good one here for Pete is how do I know if I need roadmaps or advanced roadmaps?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Josh. So I did touch on this one a little bit earlier. The main difference here is about the roadmaps available in our standard edition are a single project and they're intended for a single team. And advanced roadmaps is designed for multiple teams and multiple projects and getting that cross-team view potentially at a program level if you use that sort of terminology. So there's a few other differences I'll go into as well. So advanced roadmaps can also support multiple levels of hierarchy. So that's not only the ability to plan stories and tasks below the epic, but also the ability to plan and for the first time in Jira software itself, bring in issue hierarchy levels above epic. So you can then customize that, add your own additional levels and assign any issue types that you might have to those levels. So that's one. Another is that you can visualize sprint and team capacity. I went over that in the demo as well. So you can have a better understanding of how much work your team can achieve over time or your teams can achieve over time. And then the last one I'll talk about here is the scenario planning. So advanced roadmap supports the ability to do what-if planning in the tool. So you can see how your delivery dates may change depending on your team size or how you allocate your work to those teams.
Cool. Thanks, Pete. Question here just about can non-admins create automation rules? So for Jira software, you need to have admin privileges to create automation rules for whatever you're looking to automate. So if you're looking to automate stuff within a specific project, you need to have administrative rights within that project. Or if you're looking to automate things across your entire instance, you need to be an admin for your instance. Hillary, anything different to add there around Confluence?
The exact same applies to Confluence. So if you wanted to set up automation rules for a single space, you would need space admin permissions in that space. And again, if you wanted to set them up across your entire site and have rules that apply to multiple spaces, you would need to be a site or product admin.
Cool. Pete, one that we get a lot of the time, and maybe you can just help clear it up super quickly, is how do I find advanced roadmaps? How do I turn advanced roadmaps on?
Yeah, that's a great question, and we do get that a lot. So advanced roadmaps, when you're in Jira-Software-Cloud Premium, if you have premium access, you'll see a plans navigation item towards the top right of the screen. So that will be available to anyone who's on that premium edition who also has the permission to see that. It can be, if you don't want your users to see it, you can switch it off in the advanced roadmaps permissions that are also available under that nav item. I hope that clears things up.
I think it helps. Hillary, can you talk a little bit about what information external collaborators can see in Confluence?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that one. So we know that it's extremely important for external collaborators to have limited access to information in the sense of both content and users. So the big restrictions that come in for external collaborators that you don't see with normal users is that they don't have access by default. So they don't have access to any content unless you add them to a specific space. And then once they're added to that space, they can access the content within that space that's unrestricted, and page restrictions would work the same way once they're in. And then they also are restricted from information about the users in the space. So they don't get to see things like the people directory. They don't get to search for users in Confluence Search. They can't share a page to anyone on the site. They can see the users within the space that they're working on, but they're blocked from searching the entire list of user pickers, user search, mentioning anyone, just to make sure that you ensure the security of all other users on your site. And you don't have scenarios where maybe one of your clients can then mention someone from a competing client. And you're sure that those external collaborators are going to have access only to the content and the users that you are intending for them to see.
On a similar note, Hillary, can you talk a little bit about how analytics work for external collaborators?
Yeah, happy to. So analytics is actually another thing that we block from external collaborators. So they will be counted in analytics in that any internal employees could see if an external collaborator had viewed their page by checking page analytics. External collaborators would also be counted in things like page views, comments, space analytics, but the external collaborators themselves cannot see analytics unless you specifically went into your analytics and turned on the permissions for that group. So you could if you wanted to, but by default it will be off.
Thanks. Pete, question here that a lot of people think about with roadmaps and advanced roadmaps is like, someone asked, what are the options for sharing your advanced roadmap?
Okay, yeah, great question. So in advanced roadmaps at the moment, right now, there are two main ways to share your plan. The first is via a read-only link that you can send to your management. It's read-only, they can still interact with the plan, but they can't, for example, try to shorten your delivery timelines without you knowing about it. You can also embed your plan via an iframe. Both of those, and that's interactive as well, obviously. So both of those are available right now. We have two additional ways that are coming very, very soon. I can't commit to a date because my engineering team will kill me, but very soon. The first way is for a Confluence macro, so that you'll be able to just drop a link into your Confluence page, and up will pop a fully interactive plan for anybody who has a Jira software license, but they're viewing a Confluence page. The second way is that you'll be able to export to CSV. We get this feature request a lot. A lot of customers want to be able to extract their plan
and be able to report on it in additional ways. You'll be able to do that with the export to CSV feature that's coming soon.
Thanks. So I'll just answer this one last question, then we'll start to wrap up. Someone asked, I'm a premium customer today, and I don't see how to use the release track and sandbox features. So I can go ahead and answer this. And as a reminder, the release tracks and sandbox features will be available for both Jira Software and Confluence Premium. And the reason why folks don't see these is because, as mentioned in the presentation, these are coming soon. So just kind of dovetailing into wrapping up, there's a lot of other exciting stuff I think that we talked about today that's coming soon to both Jira Software and Confluence Premium. Both products are available for a free trial. And yeah, I just want to thank everybody for attending our webinar today. And we'll follow up by sending out a recording and some of the assets that we've shared on the webinar. Thank you everyone again.